A family in Coventry buys a washing machine in October. It costs £349. It comes with a 1-year warranty. By the following February, 4 months later, the drum is making a noise that sounds like a cement mixer full of gravel. They call the manufacturer. They are told the machine is out of its warranty period. The repair quote comes back at £280. The machine cost £349. They buy a new one. That family is not unlucky. That family is the average. A witch. Poll found that nearly 1 in 5 washing machines in the UK fails within 3 years. 1 in 5. And the manufacturers know this. They knew it before the machine left the factory. They built it that way on purpose. Today, we explain exactly how they did it, and what you can do to make sure it never happens to you again. Before we dive in, comment where you are watching from and click subscribe. Buying a washing machine in Britain is not the same calculation as buying one in Germany, where the average machine runs for over a decade. Britain has a specific set of conditions that make the washing machine market uniquely punishing for the consumer here. Usage. The average British household runs 4 to 5 loads per week. That is over 250 cycles a year. At that rate, a machine designed to survive 2,500 cycles reaches the end of its engineered lifespan in 10 years. But when the manufacturer tests to 1,500 cycles, which is closer to the truth for budget models, you are looking at 6 years on paper. And in practice, with hard water, heavy loads and detergent residue building up inside components that were never designed to be cleaned, the real number drops further. Hard water. Over 60% of England is classified as a hard or very hard water area. That includes London, the South East, the Midlands, East Anglia, and large parts of Yorkshire. In other words, the most densely populated regions of the country, where the majority of washing machines are sold. That matters because limescale is the silent killer of washing machine components. It builds up inside the heating element until the element burns out. It coats the drum-bearing seal until the seal degrades. It calcifies around the pump impeller until the pump works so hard it overheats. The Energy Saving Trust estimates that even 1.6 millimeters of limescale on a heating element increases energy consumption by up to 12%, meaning hard water is costing you on your electricity bill before it finishes off the component entirely. None of this is visible until it is already a repair bill, and none of it is covered by the warranty, which specifically excludes damage caused by water quality. The price trap. The average British household spends between £250 and £450 on a washing machine. At that price point, manufacturers are not using the same components they put inside a £900 machine. They are using motor brushes that wear at 3,000 cycles. They are using drum-bearing seals made from lower-grade rubber that cracks under thermal cycling. They are using circuit boards with surface-mounted components that corrode in a damp utility room. The sticker price and the engineering quality are in direct proportion. When the sticker price drops, something inside the machine drops with it. Consumer protection. The Consumer Rights Act gives you 6 years to claim for a fault in England and Wales. In the first 6 months, the burden of proof is on the retailer. After 6 months, it is on you. After 12 months, you need an independent engineer's report confirming the fault is inherent and was present at the point of sale. That report costs between £80 and £120. The retailer knows this. The manufacturer knows this. The 1-year warranty is not protection. It is the period during which their legal liability is clearest, and they cannot easily dispute it. After that, you are on your own. The right to repair gap. In 2021, the UK introduced right to repair legislation requiring manufacturers to make spare parts available for up to 10 years. It sounds like protection. It is not protection. The law excludes consumers directly. Only professional repairers get access to complex parts like motors and control boards. There are no controls on what manufacturers can charge for those parts. Since Brexit, UK legislation now lags behind the EU updated 2024 Right to Repair Directive. That directive expanded coverage and added price controls that British consumers do not have. Replacing a washing machine motor in the UK, which is covered in theory by the law, costs an average of £353, including labour. Our cheapest. Which? Best Buy. Freestanding washing machine costs £399. The law exists, the economics do not support it. Let me take you inside the machine. There are 4 specific components that determine whether your washing machine lasts 3 years or 13. The manufacturers know all 4. The decision about which version of each component goes into the machine is made before a single unit is built, and it is made entirely on the basis of cost. The first is the drum bearing. The drum bearing lets the inner drum spin inside the outer casing. It sits at the back of the drum, submerged in the machine's damp environment, cycling thousands of times over its life. In a well-built machine, the bearing sits in a metal housing with a high-quality rubber seal, and it is designed to be accessed and replaced when it eventually wears. In a budget machine, the bearing is sealed inside a welded plastic drum assembly. The bearing itself costs between £8 and £60. Because it is welded into the plastic outer drum, you cannot replace the bearing alone. You must replace the entire drum assembly, which costs between £150 and £300 in parts alone, before you add labour. The machine that failed cost £349. The drum assembly repair costs £280. You're better off buying a new machine. That conclusion was built into the design before the machine ever reached the shop floor. The second is the motor brushes. Budget washing machines use carbon brush motors. The brushes transfer electrical current to the motor, and they wear down with every cycle, like a pencil being used until it runs out. A new set of motor brushes costs approximately £15 in parts and takes 1 hour to fit. The repair itself is covered under right to repair, but by the time the brushes have worn enough to cause a fault, typically after 3 to 5 years of average use, the manufacturer's authorised engineer call-out charge alone is £100 to £150, plus the hour of labour on top. The brushes are £15. An engineer visit is £200. You do the maths. Premium machines use brushless motors, either inverter motors or direct drive motors, with no brushes to wear at all. The motor is sealed, permanent, and designed to outlast the machine itself. Inverter and direct drive motors are not expensive technology. They are a deliberate decision to invest 8% more at the manufacturing stage, rather than guarantee a repair call in the 4th year. The third is the door seal. The rubber gasket around the door opening keeps water inside the machine during the cycle. In a budget machine, it is made from a lower grade rubber compound that perishes under the combination of hot water, detergent chemistry, and the physical stress of the door opening and closing hundreds of times per year. A perished door seal lets water out, water on the floor of your utility room. Replacement seals are available to consumers directly under the right to repair. The seal costs between £20 and £40. Fitting it yourself is physically difficult but possible. If you pay a professional, the total including call-out is around £80 to £100. This is one of the few repairs in the entire machine that is genuinely economical. Most people do not know this. They see water on the floor and call the retailer, who tells them the machine needs replacing. The fourth is the circuit board. The main printed circuit board controls every function the machine performs. In budget machines, it is manufactured with surface-mounted electronic components on a board positioned near the detergent drawer, which generates steam and moisture every single time the machine runs. The board corrodes, and corrosion causes contact failures. Contact failures cause the machine to display error codes, stop mid-cycle, or refuse to start. A replacement circuit board costs between £80 and £200 in parts. The repair is covered under the right to repair, but it requires a professional repairer. Total cost including call-out and labour is £170 to £300 on a machine that cost £349. This is not a coincidence. The board location, the board specification, the board quality, all of these were decisions. Someone signed off on them. Let me say something direct about 3 brands before I explain why they appear here. Hotpoint makes washing machines that are recognisable, widely sold, and priced to be accessible. In 2019, Whirlpool, the company that owns Hotpoint, was forced to recall up to 519,000 Hotpoint and Indesit washing machines sold in the UK between October 2014 and February 2018. The recall was due to a fault with the door locking system that caused the heating element to overheat, posing a fire risk. Over 500,000 machines in people's homes with a fire risk. Whirlpool's vice president said the problem was something they had inherited when they bought Indesit company. The machines were already in the homes of British families before the fault was publicly acknowledged. The Which survey of 5,588 washing machine owners conducted in July 2025 shows the least reliable brands are 6 times more fault-prone than the most reliable. Hotpoint and Indesit sit at the wrong end of that table. The closing verdict was that they are well marketed, widely available, and consistently present in repair engineers' schedules. That is not a recommendation. Indesit is the budget sibling of Hotpoint, both under the Whirlpool umbrella. It is positioned as the entry-level option for buyers who cannot stretch further. A Trustpilot review from 2025 describes an Indesit fridge freezer failing within 6 weeks. A forum post from a Which member describes an Indesit washing machine whose drum bearing failed just outside the 2-year warranty period, sealed inside a plastic drum that cost £200 to replace rather than the £5 bearing inside it. The plastic drum was fully welded to prevent independent servicing. That is not an engineering limitation. That is an engineering decision. The closing verdict here, the price point is designed to look affordable. The total cost of ownership across 2 or 3 replacement cycles over 10 years is not affordable at all. Samsung. Samsung is the most purchased washing machine brand in several UK retail channels. The technology marketing is excellent, the reliability record is not. Which survey respondent describes a 4-year-old Samsung stopping mid-cycle. Consumer Reports data from 205,000 washer and dryer purchases between 2015 and 2025 places Samsung solidly in the middle of the reliability table, not the worst but nowhere near the top, and consistently outperformed by brands sold for a fraction of Samsung's premium price positioning. Samsung washing machines with Wi-Fi connectivity and AI wash detection contain more components that can fail than a machine without those features, and when the control board fails, which it does, because they are built with the same corrosion-vulnerable PCB architecture as budget machines but at a higher sticker price, the replacement board costs more because the brand is premium. Samsung's recommended retail price for an engineer call-out for laundry appliances is £149 before any repair work begins. On a machine that retails at £600, an engineer visit plus a control board replacement can take you past £350 in a single afternoon. You're paying more up front for a machine that costs more when it breaks. The closing verdict is this: the features are real. The reliability is not proportional to the price. If you have had a washing machine fail on you before the 5-year mark, drop a comment right now and tell me what brand it was and what went wrong. My guess is that a significant number of you will say drum bearings or circuit board. I am also going to guess that a meaningful proportion of you will say it happened suspiciously close to the point where the warranty expired. That is not a coincidence. That is engineering. The machines that last are not complicated to identify. They share 4 characteristics that are entirely absent from the brands and models that fill repair engineers' schedules. Brushless inverter or direct drive motors. Brushless means no brushes, and that means nothing to wear. A brushless motor is the single most reliable predictor of a washing machine's long-term lifespan. Samsung, LG, and Bosch all offer brushless motor models, but they also offer brush motor models at lower price points. The motor type is listed in the product specification. It is never listed in the marketing headline. You have to look for it. A drum with a bolted outer casing rather than a welded plastic assembly means the bearings can be replaced when they eventually wear. This one design decision is the difference between a £15 repair for a part and a £250 drum replacement. Bosch and Miele consistently build accessible drums. Many budget brands do not. Ask at the point of purchase which drum construction the machine uses. If the sales assistant cannot answer, check the model number against the manufacturer's service documentation online before you buy. Miele is the benchmark. Miele tests each washing machine for 5,000 cycles, the equivalent of 5 loads a week, 50 weeks a year, for 20 years. Consumer Reports data from 205,000 appliances purchased between 2015 and 2025 places Miele first for predicted reliability in both washers and dryers. It is the highest rated brand in the survey. Miele machines start at around £800 and climb significantly above that. They are not cheap, but a Miele washing machine that runs for 15 to 20 years costs less per year than 3 budget machines bought over the same period. The sticker price is not the cost. The cost is the sticker price divided by the number of years it runs. Nobody puts that number on the box. Bosch Series 6 and above. At the accessible end of the reliable market, Bosch Series 6 washing machines offer brushless eco-silence motors, long programs designed to protect fabric and components, and a build quality that consistently places them into the top tier of which reliability surveys. They retail from around £450 to £700 depending on capacity and program. They are not glamorous. They do not have a touchscreen. They do not connect to an app. They wash clothes and they keep doing it for a decade. Rule 1. Check the motor type before you buy anything. The specification page for every washing machine sold in the UK lists the motor type. A brush motor means carbon brushes that will wear. An inverter motor, brushless motor, or direct drive motor means no brushes and a fundamental lifespan advantage. This check takes 30 seconds on the manufacturer's website or the retailer's product page. If the motor type is not listed, search the model number plus the word motor before you buy. Do not skip this step. Rule 2. Check the drum construction. Search the model number you're considering plus the words drum replacement and bearing replacement. If the results show that a bearing replacement requires a full drum assembly at £150 to £300, you are looking at a machine with a welded drum. If the results show an independent bearing replacement at under £60, the drum is accessible. Accessible drums are not exclusive to premium brands, but they require research to find at the budget end of the market. That research is worth doing before the machine is in your utility room. Rule 3. Register your machine and document everything within the first 6 months. The Consumer Rights Act gives you 6 years to claim for an inherent fault. But after 6 months, the burden of proof shifts to you. In the first 6 months, take a dated photograph of the machine installed in your home. Keep your purchase receipt and the delivery confirmation. If any fault appears in the first 6 months, even a minor one, report it in writing by email to the retailer, not by phone. A written record of a reported fault within 6 months is the single most powerful consumer protection tool available to you, and almost nobody uses it. If the retailer ignores the report, that email is your evidence for a statutory claim under the Consumer Rights Act. Option 1. You buy a budget washing machine for £329. Motor brushes wear out in year 3. An engineer call-out costs £100, labour and parts cost £80, total repair cost £180. You pay it. In year 5, the drum bearings fail. The drum is welded, so a full drum assembly and labour cost £280 on a machine now worth nothing. You replace it and buy a second machine for another £329. You are 6 years in. Total spent £918 and you are back to square one. Option 2. You buy a Bosch Series 6 for £499. It has a brushless motor and an accessible drum. It runs without incident for 11 years. 1 door seal replacement in year 7, £40 in parts and 30 minutes of your time. Total spent over 11 years, £539. The cheaper machine cost £379 more over the same period, and it delivered 2 stressful breakdowns, 2 engineer visits, and left you without clean laundry for a week each time. The cheap machine is the most expensive machine you will ever buy. That calculation was made in the factory before you ever walked into the shop. Now you can make it first. The British washing machine market is not broken by accident. It is structured to deliver a machine at a price point that feels affordable, made with components that are designed to reach failure just past the point where the manufacturer's legal liability is clearest, and engineered so that repair is economically comparable to replacement. 1 in 5 machines fails within 3 years. The least reliable brands are 6 times more fault-prone than the most reliable. The right to repair law exists and does not protect you from the economics. And Britain's hard water, high usage rates, and price-sensitive buying habits make every one of those failures more likely, more expensive, and harder to resolve than anywhere else in Western Europe. That is not bad luck. That is the business model. The motor type is on the specification page. The drum construction is visible in the repair data. The Consumer Rights Act protection is available to anyone who documents correctly. You just needed to know where to look. If this video saved you from a washing machine that was built to fail, subscribe now so you never miss one.